So I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit at work, but I figured I could chat it up. Um, so I wanted to talk about being called out of a situation. It had been on my mind for a few days, for a few weeks, really. I shouldn't say a few days. And somebody actually made a video about it in my TikTok friends, and I figured I would go ahead and maybe that was a sign. But being called out. So for years, and at the time when I actually got involved with the ex-husband, for years I've been practicing, and he was fine with it. It was a lifestyle for me. It wasn't something that the Bible was the furthest thing from my mind. I didn't study the Bible. I hadn't studied the Bible in years. Had no interest in it at all. But in the midst of this argument, I saw something on him, and I've mentioned it to him since several times, and he won't address it. He won't say anything about it. I suspect that he knows that this thing is on him. I don't know how long it's been on him. But I've mentioned it to him. When I saw it, like I said, I packed up all my stuff, my altars, everything, took him to the dump. He actually came with me. He seemed cool, for as cool as he could be at that point. But when I started studying the Bible, he started going nuts. Like, he went crazy. He was really mean and foul and disrespectful. Started hollering about it's his house, even though I've been putting in to that home for 7 years at that point. He told me that he was going to burn all of my books, that I wasn't allowed to read in his house. And then he changed it to I wasn't allowed to read any religious books, anything Bible related, and I better get them out or else he was going to get them out. Just all kinds of, and real mean and vicious about it, like real mean. He wasn't, and that's when the real bad behavior started, driving up on people, constantly taking off his ring anytime, starting disagreements, just all manner of impossible to deal with, insufferable behavior. I still tried to stick by him because, this was my friend. This was my everything. I trusted him. I still trusted in the person I knew. This behavior just going on and on and on and on. And don't get me wrong, there were times when he was nasty previously, but it wasn't like something that went on and on and on and on and on. But this did. Just mean, yelling, cursing, rude, awful. but I still was waiting for him to calm down. It never happened. He just got worse and worse. It just got worse and worse. There was no reasoning with him. There was no conversation. He wouldn't hear anything out. He would just start screaming and yelling and whatever, you know. And one night, I remember feeling him standing over me when I was sleeping. He worked evenings, I worked days. And I was sleeping. He got in from work, and I could feel him standing over me. And I thought, I could see him turning into an annihilator, because his behavior was so foreign to me. I'd never, he had never acted like that before for that amount of time. So, there was that, and then even though, at 40 years old, married, he decided to stay out all night long. And I said, I don't have to deal with this, And so me and the kids packed up and left a week later. He wouldn't even tolerate me going out with my friends. Even when he was with me, he wouldn't even tolerate it. So for him to think that he could go and stay out all night long and, it was going to be cool, was just beyond me. But that was it. And I wasn't even sad when I left like I should have been. But I was more of angry about my wasted time, everything, and just his refusal to straighten up. So, I thought about that, whatever it was that I saw on him, and he never would answer me about what that was. I believe he knows what it is. I wondered how long it was there, if it was there the whole time, and I just didn't see it until that day. I don't know. But at no point, like every day, I do miss home. But I know that that home doesn't exist anymore. It never will exist the way that it was before. What else? I know that I was removed so that I wouldn't be destroyed. Because I know that that house is not just that house, but just the whole property, that even the town is on borrowed time. It's not going to be around too much longer. I worry about my son when he goes out there every weekend. But I was made to move. I was made so uncomfortable. The Father made sure I was so uncomfortable. I had to move. I had to leave. So I'm grateful for that. Hallelujah. I'm grateful for that, but it's not been easy. It's not been pleasant. And I'm one of those who he remembered after a long time of being out of touch. After I stopped searching, Now, there's the thing, as far as these visions and things, now I realize how I was, should I say, inducing those. I realize now how I put those on. So I don't do what brings those on any longer. But at that time, I was given information about him that I wasn't supposed to know. I was given information about his family I wasn't supposed to know. I was told by something I shouldn't have been listening to that he was that person. Now I realize that his biggest purpose in my life was to persecute me to the point that I ended up turning into the father, somewhere I never would have thought that I'd be. So that was his purpose. So the father even used the wicked. He even used the wicked. He used my own wickedness to bring me to him. It's not been a good feeling. It's not been a good feeling. So when you see all these people talking about being chosen by God, God's favorite, whatever, it's not a, I'm not going to sit, I'm not destitute or anything like that. I'm doing fine. But my heart, the physical part of me is broken. My heart is broken. Emotionally, I'm in a place in a weird place. Every once in a while, it's like I'll sink down, but I see things objectively, so I can't stay there. I have no regrets. I understand what happened, even though it's weird, it's strange, different, and I don't really have anybody to relate to that I know of. I know exactly what happened. I saw it. I know what I saw. But it's just then the one thing that does bother me is I think about the person that I knew paying for the person that I met. You know, like the person that I fell in love with going and disappearing with the wicked one that I met. And that's disturbing, that's upsetting. And so it's like sometimes or whatever, I let the heartbreak get to me. And I realize now, whatever, that I think his spirit knew, because I somewhat pursued him, you know. I think his spirit knew. Something his spirit knew that I was not, that something was going to change, because he was very resistant at first. But I miss him, because the person who he turned into, or this thing, is not the person that I knew at all. The filthy, you know, behavior and the nasty behavior and everything is not something that I was, you know, that I ever could have imagined him doing, you know, so, or participating in or whatever. But I was called out. It doesn't matter how much I might think about, you know, going back. It's been a few times, and it's like, I know if I was to change my mind and, oh, whatever, and go back, he would take me back. But there's no going back. It took 32, I think, years for him to answer me. 32 years. And I'd be a fool to go and turn around and take any chances on not moving forward, especially with the way things are looking now and the things that are going on. I'd be a fool. So, as much as I sometimes miss him, as much as I miss home, as worried as I am about what is going to happen to him and to that, place, and my son going over there every weekend, as much as I worry, I can't unsee and I can't go backward. So, one of those bye for now things, But this is what it looks like to be called out. But to be chosen, it's not fun. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a good day. I'm actually having a good day. I'm just having a moment. But see y'all later.